So, hi ladies, it's your girl Angel 515-2010. So, I just want to do a quick update on how my HSG test went today. Um, Today is November 3rd. My HSG test was at 2:15 p.m. today. I got to the doctor's office about 1:45. They wanted me to get there like 30 minutes early, just in case you haven't filled out your new patient information. But I already filled out the packet, so it went by really quick. I got there, the lady checked me in. She told me to go to the bathroom to make sure that my bladder was clear before the procedure. So I went to use the bathroom and came back out, and I think within like 5 or 10 minutes, like, they called me to the back. So I got in the back at about 2 o'clock, and the lady told me to just follow her and get dressed. We'll get undressed from the waist down. I did take my belly ring out just because I didn't know if it was gonna mess up the scan, so I took it out. And she told me to sit on the table and put the white drape over me, which I did. The doctor came in and he kind of explained to me what he was going to do, and then lay back, put your legs in stirrup. They put in like the little, the little speculum that they open up yourself with. They give some pap smear and put that in, and then he goes, okay, I'm going to use the catheter. I'm going to insert that. So he started to insert the catheter, and he put in the speculum. He was like, oh, I see your cervix, it looks nice, it's right there. So I was like, okay, well, that part's good. And then he got ready to put in the catheter, and oh my gosh, you guys, like, he said, okay, I'm going to start inserting it, and like, he pushed a little bit with it to like put it in, and like, it hurt, like hurt. So I kind of like jumped back a little bit. He was like, oh, now don't go back too far, like he was gonna slide out. So I kind of just sucked it up and like bit down on my lip and just went like this. And so he inserted it, and then he was like, okay, now we're gonna blow up the balloon. The balloon, when he blew it up, it wasn't bad, it was just a lot of pressure. But the worst thing was him inserting the catheter. So he had that in, he had the balloon, and then they put the little thing over me so I could see the x-ray on the big TV screen. And he showed me the balloon, and he took a picture of that, and then he rotated it so that it would be the right side up, and then he started to insert the dye. And when he started inserting the dye, it filled up my uterus cavity, which was fine. And I had my hand like kind of laying, not over my stomach, but it was like kind of up by my breast, and he saw like dark shadows like sticking out the top part, and he thought it was my fingers. He thought it was the x-ray thing hitting my fingers. So I was like, oh, I'll move my fingers, and ended up not being that. My right tube was clear and it had spillage on it. My left tube, they didn't see any spillage on it, so it's a possibility that it could be blocked. He said he couldn't tell for sure because the dye ran all the way up through the tube. He didn't see seepage out the top part of it. But he said the reason why he doesn't want to say for sure that it's blocked is because the dye actually started to spill out my lymphatic tube. So there was like dye like everywhere. Out, like it spilled out of my uterus like into my lymphatic tube, so it was everywhere. So that's why he was concerned. And so like in the middle of the procedure, he asked me, he's like, do you have fibroids? And I'm like, not that I know of, I've never been diagnosed with fibroids. And he was like, well, I'm gonna print you out a copy of this, well, make a copy of the actual procedure that he was doing, because they were taking pictures and recording it as they did it for you to take to your fertility doctor. He was like, because it looks like you have fibroids. Like, I don't want to say for sure, they have to do an ultrasound to confirm it. He was like, but it looks like that's what I'm seeing. And he, so he was like, yeah, we're just going to bring you a copy of the DVD for you to take to him. And then he actually had to get more dye. So he had to ask the lady for more dye to try to like force more dye so it would come out the left side of my tube, because he really wanted to see was it blocked or not blocked. And it was just spilling out the top, the lymphatic tube. So he was just like, okay, you know what? We're just going to say the left tube is possibly blocked, but we're not quite sure until, I guess, they get the fibroid check. He said that it's not bad thing that the dye leaked out of my lymphatic tube. He said so we would just have a really prominent lymphatic system where you could see it really good on the x-ray. He was like, but this was the most, I guess, dye spillage that he had ever seen. So he ended up taking, like, I think a total of like maybe 10 or 12 photos, actually, when he did the procedure, which normally he said he only takes like maybe 3 or 4, one of the balloon initially, one of the right side of the tube filling up, one on the left side, and the spillage. But he had to take a couple with me because he thought he saw the fibroids. So I'm a little bummed about that. I am excited that my right tube is open. At least I know I have one of them that's open. The left one is a possibility it's open. It was just a C-picture, they really couldn't tell. But I'm really, like, I don't know, I'm nervous and I'm scared about the fibroid. I guess it being possible that I could have them, because I know a lot of times they have to do a hysterectomy to get them out, or sometimes they can do a, what is it? It's not a full hysterectomy, but it's like an alternative to it where they can kind of keep your uterus intact. And it's so funny because a while ago, like right before I came upstairs with the video, I was sitting downstairs eating dinner on the couch watching TV with my husband, and this commercial came up, and it was like, have you been diagnosed with fibroids and you don't want to have a hysterectomy because you want to have kids? I swear to y'all, I've never ever seen this commercial. And then I fucking go to the doctor and have an HSG test, and he tells me I possibly have fibroids. And then I come home and I see all these commercials about new procedures to remove fibroids instead of having to get a hysterectomy. So, I mean, in a way, I kind of saw it as, I don't want to say a blessing in disguise because I don't want to claim fibroids. I'm praying that I don't have them, and I hope you guys send your prayers out as well. I'm hoping that maybe it was a glitch or something wrong on the screen, or maybe my uterus was just having a bad day and was mad at me. But if I do have them, then I know that there are other options for me instead of getting a full-blown hysterectomy. I'm hoping they're not that bad where they actually have to do one. I mean, me and my husband do want kids eventually, but what he kind of told me was, go talk to your doctor, let him do the ultrasound to say yay or nay, and then, he'll go on about possible ways of treating it if it is, and then we'll go on what's the next step or what we recommend for fertility for you guys, just because my husband does have a low sperm count too, and he actually goes to Carolina Conceptions for his semen analysis. So yeah, so they faxed the stuff over to my doctor as soon as I got done with the procedure. My doctor is not in the office today because I did call because I go on the 17th to get my pap and to get some blood work drawn. She wants to do a progesterone test and a thyroid test, as I told you guys in my last video, that day too. So I'll have my pap and then he'll do the additional blood work. I don't know whether he's gonna want to talk to me about the fibroids and do that then on the appointment on the 17th as well, or whether he wants me to make a separate appointment. So I called the office and the lady, told me he wasn't there today. I don't know if he's gonna be in the office tomorrow because it's Friday. He may just come back on Monday. She was like, but because they faxed the results over, once they get them back, he'll review them, and if he wants me to schedule a separate appointment for the actual fibroid to look and see if I have fibroids, then he'll call me, let me know that he wants to set one up, or maybe that he has time to do everything all in one that day. So I'm hoping that on the 17th that he will, I guess, be able to do the pap, do the ultrasound, and the blood work all in one day. Just so I don't have to go back on multiple days and keep paying the freaking $30 copay. I mean, it would save me a lot of money. So, yeah, that'll make me really happy. So, I don't know. I'm hoping it's not that, just because I don't want it. And I'm not quite sure whether my insurance will cover it. I have Blue Cross and Blue Shield, and I know for infertility, they cover everything up into the diagnosis, and once you get the diagnosis, then you're pretty much on your own, I guess. I hate to say it that way, but you're on your own. But I would think if I have fibroids, they would cover me getting them moved because they could possibly be cancerous. But yeah, and when he asked me when I was in his office, he was like, well, you know, do you have really bad cramps when you're on your menstrual cycle? And I was like, or do you bleed really heavy? And I was like, no. That's why I was like, I don't want to, I don't think I have them, because most of the typical signs, or what most people say are side effects, is that you have really, really bad cramping, or you have like a really, really heavy like flow cycle. My period is like 3 days max, like really 3 days. And it's really, really light. Like I don't cramp at all. Like I may get like one cramp. It's not even like a medium cramp. It's like very little to none. When my cycle's on, and it's like day one is kind of medium to heavy, day two is like medium light, and then day three is like panty liner if I want to, because it's so light I could literally wear a panty liner. And then the fourth day I'll have like some like spot here and there, so I do wear a panty liner for up to 4 days, on the fourth day of my cycle, although my cycle's not on anymore. But you know, you have that little brown spot show afterwards. Anyway, so he was kind of shocked that I told him, you know, I didn't cramp really bad, because from what I could see on the screen when he put it up, they did look like little egg sacs at the bottom of my uterus. But I don't know. I'll see. I'll let you guys know. My appointment once again is on the 17th, so hopefully the doctor will do everything when I go in then. If not, or if he wants me to schedule an appointment before or after then I'll let you guys know. I guess I'll figure out by like maybe the end of next week or the middle of next week what he wants to do so far as doing an ultrasound for that. So I'll do another video to update you guys on that. But anyway, okay, back to HSG test. So, you know, I got up. After the procedure was done, he used a little bit more dye to try to force it through my left tube, which he couldn't get it to go because it kept spilling out of the little lymphatic tube. So he was just like, okay, you know what, we're just going to call it like left tube possibly blocked, but you really can't tell for sure until we get the other stuff looked at. So he was like, okay, get dressed, come to my office. And that's when he told me about, you know, the fibroid and kind of explained things to me. And he went over my pictures, and then he showed me like pictures of a normal person's uterus, how they don't have the overflow into their lymphatic system. But he said my uterus looked fine, like perfect uterus. And then I kind of left. So when I got up, Philly gave me a pad to put on, and you know, I was getting dressed, and I had cramping. It was bad to me because I don't cramp on my cycle, so I was just kind of like, it wasn't unbearable to where I couldn't stand or, you know, couldn't move, but it was very, very uncomfortable. And so my husband actually took me to the appointment. So we got in the car, we got home, and I say the cramping lasted for maybe like 20 to 30 minutes. Like I just laid down and took a nap, and when I woke up it was gone. So not too bad. I am still spotting now. When I actually got in the car, like when we left the doctor's office, I like got ready to sit down in the seat, and I just felt like this big gush of blood. And I got home, yeah, it was a big gush of blood that came rushing out. But yeah, so I'm okay. The worst part was the catheter. If I'm leaving anything out in this video, I'm sorry if I'm scatterbrained, but it's late at night and I'm kind of exhausted. So yeah, I will do a follow-up. If you have any questions, leave them for me below, or message me. If you ladies have any advice or I guess any experience with fibroids, kind of give me a heads up on it and let me know, because I've been googling like crazy trying to find out more information. But thanks for your help, and we're just gonna pray that they're not fibroids. It was a glitch on the screen or something wrong with his monitor. But I'll talk to you ladies later. You guys have a great night.